Check, check. Come on. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Turn that down a little bit. Check. Alright, so I took a little break for a minute. I needed one. But I'm right back where I left off at. Talking about financial transformation magic. Financial transformation magic by Damon Brand. If you don't know, this is a system of magic. This book consists of 24 individual rituals that is designed for each individual ritual to work together cohesively, you know what I'm saying, as one unit to deliver an overall result. All right. So basically, like, when you got everybody got dreams, you got a big when you got a big goal that needs to be accomplished. Like, say if you got it in your mind that you want to open you up a full dine-in restaurant, right? Not even talking about magic, just saying, like, just in reality. That means, like, it's a lot of individual parts that got to come together for that restaurant to be successful and for it to manifest, right? I mean, like, it's one thing to have the idea and to see yourself doing it, but then you're gonna need the building, right? The kitchen. I mean, you need the cooking equipment. You're gonna need the employees. You're gonna need the accountants. You're gonna need the money. You're gonna need, you know what I'm saying, the advertisement. You're gonna need the permits for this and the vendors, and you know what I'm saying. Like, it's a lot of individual smaller components that gotta come together, you know what I'm saying, to mesh. And that's kind of like how this system is designed, you know what I'm saying. You got you're wanting a big result, you know what I'm saying, instead of tackling trying to eat the whole enchilada at once, which never works. You're breaking it down in bite-sized pieces, right? So all of these rituals in these book, these 24 rituals address 24 different focal points or 24 different aspects of the outcome you desire. This book, for those who are not familiar with the channel, so in this book, Financial Transformation Magic, all of these rituals in this book is because we're dealing with transformation, which means we're dealing with alchemy, which means we're dealing with taking one thing and evolving into a complete other, right? So, the idea of alchemy is like taking base metal and turning it into gold. So all of these rituals in the book, all of this shit is designed to. These aren't rituals like, here's a ritual so I can get more sales. at work, or here's a ritual so I can get some unexpected money, or here's some, like, although all those things may and probably will still occur from working this magic, but these magic aren't, none of these rituals, they aren't aimed at, they aren't aimed at directly changing your outside circumstance. The rituals are all designed and aimed at working on a subconscious level, reprogramming your subconscious mind. If the mind is what creates reality, right? So all these rituals, instead of doing a ritual to attract some, to get some quick money, or doing a ritual to get this girlfriend, a ritual to get this nice car and a new house, like, all those things might happen, but the reality of it is, you go do a ritual, because I've done tons of money rituals, like, that's my favorite. Gonna do tons of more, you know what I'm saying? But, like, so I notice how, like you can do a money ritual and end up, say, in the next couple of weeks, coming across, oh, boom, I done came across $1,000 or something like that, right? Cool, the magic work. And what happens is, like, you quickly gonna run through that $1,000, and then you right back in the same position, same predicament. Like, ain't nothing changed in your life, right? You just, but so this is more so not directed at, like, that shit. It's more so, it's aiming at changing your mind and your thinking patterns, and just reprogramming you on a subconscious level, right? Changing from the inside out, right? Because our internal beliefs, right? And thoughts and desires and self-esteem and our fears, right? And our passion. And see, it's the internal reality that pulls down our physical reality, our outside reality, right? Like, mind over matter, right? It's the subconscious mind that projects, that it's a subconscious mind that is mostly responsible for manifesting our physical events, relationships, circumstances. Way, way much more than our conscious mind is, right? Even though the conscious mind, our egos, think it's the boss and it's in charge, right? But you know. So that's just to give a little context. You know what I'm saying? Because when I talk about this book, like, I'm not about to be talking about, like, I'll say it right now, like, I don't have any outrageous stories to give you about, oh, a $10,000 check just unexpectedly popped up in my mailbox, or this brand new car I just got, and I ain't got none of that. Like, I ain't got no sexy theatrical outcomes to share with you right now. I'm about halfway through. I'm almost right at the halfway mark of this book. And this book, if you work the magic in this book, as the author suggests, then he says it should take about a year to complete all the magic in this book. I know I done skipped days. So I'll be a little behind. But with that said, still I'm like right there about halfway through this book. So I'm probably like 6 months or a little over 6 months or something in, 6, 7 months in with doing this magic. Looking for it online and shit, like you can't, there's not a lot out there yet as far as people and reviews and really giving some good insight on working this magic. I think mainly probably because it haven't been enough time yet for people to actually complete the magic and then live to see how it unfolds and get more results and shit. But to be 6, 7 months in, at this point, I've definitely have a perspective about working this magic and maybe things a person can expect. So yeah, anyway, let me hit this and we're gonna get to it. See, I just want to talk about, I know in the magic community, if that's a thing, but like in the magic community, with most people, most magicians that give you the stories and their own testimonies dealing with, magic and shit, usually like it's always very biased on success stories, right? You'll see like everybody always give you like the dramatic everybody always will give you the success stories, right? Like don't nobody, I ain't gonna say nobody because there are some, but most of the time you don't ever hear about the stressfulness or the pitfalls, the mishaps, the inconveniences. They usually don't talk to you about when they was just underwhelmed, right? You usually just kind of get the sprucing up, right? The gold nugget. You know what I'm saying? I think so why so many people get into this magic thing, and a lot of people get into it like through the year, but most do not stick with it. Most don't go deeper into it. Most just, you know what I'm saying? Because typically, um, we're attracted to this thing because we feel like we can get something, we can gain something for a little bit of nothing or nothing real quick. We want some shit for free, quick and easy. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, So most of us are attracted to it for that like reasons. Get some quick money or a love spell or something like that. And but once most people find out that it's work involved, you know what I'm saying? Like it's why most motherfuckers don't stick with it and really invest a lot of time and energy. You know what I'm saying? Um, they fall short of seeing the big picture, whatever that is for you. You know what I'm saying? Like I ask myself, like this is how I look at this shit. Like this is something I use that kind of keep me going. You know what I'm saying? Like through these years, I say to myself, from what I know about, so I've been doing magic for some years at this point, and I would just always ask myself, like because you know the most, like the number one reason people that we don't accomplish the thing that we want to accomplish most, like why our dreams, why most people they never really get to live their dream, like achieve the dream. It always kind of just stays in fantasy land. You know what I'm saying? And it never actually becomes reality for them. You know what I'm saying? The number one reason why that is because they quit. They don't stick with it. You know what I'm saying? They don't see it through. Let's just be real. And I ain't even talking about, I ain't even got to be about, this ain't about Matt, just like regular life. Like, when the going get tough, most of the time, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll fall back. Like, you get in a relationship with a girl, you know, first y'all riding that high, you know what I'm saying? Lovey dovey and everything, gravy and Gucci, you know what I'm saying? Y'all feeling each other. And then when the boats start getting rocky, after a while, you know what I'm saying? Whenever you come off that high and the dust settles, you know what I'm saying? And the road start getting rocky and you start experiencing a little bit of stress, a little fatigue. When motherfuckers start getting on your nerve a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Whenever you feel like the vacation is over, then most of the time that's what like shit we go our separate ways. Like people, we break up, break up, break up, break up, break up, break up. Just saying, like I think the whole thing behind that and being successful in anything is about sticking with it. Like I just asked myself, like dealing with this magic shit now. Um, what if I never stop? Through these last few years, that's just one thing that I always, because not even just magic, really, when we just, you can say spirituality in general, and that covers a lot of area, you know what I'm saying? But tapping into your spirituality, your spiritual power in general, whatever you into, just ask yourself, what if I never stop? Because there's going to be moments where you're going to fall off. You're going to get out of it. You ain't feeling it. You focus on something else. You ain't worried about it. I still experience those moments, and I was just talking about it. But then you got to come back and go back to it at some point. You don't have to because most don't. But my point of the matter, what I'm saying is, just imagine if you don't fucking stop. Imagine if you never leave it alone, right? Just imagine you never quit fucking with it. Like, we can look at like stars, like, you know what I'm saying? Say, no, I don't want to say his name because they get to censoring all kinds of shit and jumping on my channel. But anyway, just a big, say like Lil Wayne, Jim Carrey, Denzel Washington, just these people, right, that we see them to be like superstar status and shit. LeBron James, just imagine though, if they craft that they blew up at, that you know what I'm saying? Just imagine, because they had to go through all the shit, you know what I'm saying? All the struggle, all the stress, they experienced all the different emotions with dealing with their journey, right? And just imagine if they wouldn't have went through it though. You know what I'm saying? When it got rocky or something, they was like, man, fuck that, nigga. Let me go. Let me go, man. Do something different. I ain't work. You know what I'm saying? And all too much in life, that's how we are. You know what I'm saying? Whenever shit gets uncomfortable, we typically fall back. And whenever you tapping into some spirituality, whenever you tapping into your spiritual self, like on some real shit, like it's going to get challenging at times. Even if it gets challenging just to get up and do the shit. You know how hard it is to meditate, bruh? And that's coming from like an experienced meditator, right? Like, it's still like just meditating. So what I'm just talking about, I'm just saying that to make a point of that it takes the shit gonna take effort. Whatever you talking about, whatever aspect of your spirituality you tapping into, like nigga, that shit it's gonna be fun, but it also gonna get, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't feel like doing that shit. That shit dumb. That shit ain't doing nothing for real. You know what I'm saying? It's always that shit. You probably got still childhood dreams, or not even dreams, just shit you want to do. Like most people, like how many people, I use myself for example, you know what I'm saying? Coming up, I had some partners like when we was younger, we used to make music. Like I always loved music, always, you know what I'm saying? I was young, wanted to be a big music star and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Didn't stick with it. We did that shit for a little bit. Had a group with two of my homeboys. We we put out one CD, one full album, and it was tight. But we was feeling it and all that shit. And you know how it go. After that, you know what I'm saying, we just kind of fell out. Everybody started doing their own thing. Stopped going to the studio. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know what I'm saying, falling back into, and that's how it goes with most things, including all the spiritual shit, right? How often do you know somebody, it could be you was doing your tarot cards, you was into it a couple years ago, and then it just kind of fell off. And now you look at it, you probably ain't picked up that deck and fucked with them in the last year or two. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Or 4 or 5, right? You used to meditate all the time in the beginning and was making time for this and that, and then just you fell off of it, and now you can't even say the last time you done tapped into this or that. So just my point of it is that imagine, that's why I said myself, this is what keeps me even fucking with any of this shit, any of keeps me studying. I'm talking about magic, but my interest, if you're familiar with the channel, then you already know. Like, my interest lies in a lot of different aspects of spirituality. But um I'm really talking about magic right now. But that's just the attitude that I gotta tap into, because I already know a lot of things could have popped off for me in the past if I would have just stuck with them. If I wouldn't have stopped. Because you got to think, every time you stop, that means you got to start over. If you're going to keep doing it, you know what I'm saying? And that thing, you stop. I mean, you start, you do it for a while, you feeling it, you motivated, you know what I'm saying? And then you lose the momentum, you fall off, whatever. 5 years go by, you feeling again, and you getting back into it, right? And you back in the studio now. Ooh, that shit falls off. Ooh, you like whatever going on. You know what I'm saying? 3-4 years later, now you feeling the bug and like, man, fuck it, let's. You know what I'm saying? It's like we can't accomplish. Like, don't nothing get manifested like that. Like, but it's just like, what if you just one of those ones though that don't fucking stop? And when you stop, you don't stop. Like, you just pause. You get distracted right quick. You know what I'm saying? But you get your shit together and get back to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I would ask myself, like, being like me, like, because I'm an entrepreneur and I always have been, I just always been set up like that. But because I'm an entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying? I'm human, and I do think lots of times, you know, so, oh man, why don't I get old? And you're gonna get too old and physically not able to do certain shit and certain whatever. And I was just like, man, I get to worrying sometimes shit, but man, I gotta whoop whoop plan for my future better. I gotta do better jobs at building up this retirement and all that type of shit. Like, what I'm, and sometimes I just be thinking like, bruh, if I don't ever stop tapping into this shit, then I'm gonna be straight. And I'm not just talking about doing some magic for money. I'm talking about spiritually, spiritually, that shit's going to take care of me physically. That's what I'm saying. And you too. But anyway, let me hit this, man. Let's get into some of this financial transformation magic talk. I wasn't trying to preach to y'all. That's just how that shit go when the energy get to moving. I'll just be saying what comes through. All right. So, um, the number one thing I'm talking about finance. I'm talking about this book now, but more so, even just in general with magic. But I'm definitely noticing it now, heavy dealing with this magic. But even magic in general, like I believe, like the number one reaction that you get from doing effective magic isn't money, isn't love, it isn't it isn't it isn't so much physical, but the number one reaction that performing effective magic is going to present to you is opportunity. Swear to God. So it's like one of them things to where whatever you're doing the magic for, whatever you tapping into magic for, if you really not willing to do the work, real shit ain't gonna happen. It's still not gonna happen because the magic, it's going to present you with the opportunity. They say, which, all right, I don't want to get lost in that because I was about to go down a different rabbit hole. But magic is going to present you with opportunity, right? And the opportunities are more ways for you to open up more avenues, more streams for the energy to channel through for it to manifest. So take for instance, just to make a point. Let me plug this computer in for this motherfucker been dying. So just to make a point of like why I'm even talking about this. So like everybody loves money magic, or everybody loves manifesting money. Not even saying magic because you know. But everybody that gets into magic gets into money magic. That's typically the number one attraction to magic is to get some money. So so the thing is this. You can do all this big powerful money ritual and shit, right? Because you gotta mind you just did this ritual for $1 million, right? But then all you got is this one stream of income. And it's a stream of ink. Like all you got is you are full-time CNA. And I ain't throwing no shade at you. Making a point here. Like I said, I want to talk about the reality of this shit. You're a full-time CNA, right? What I'm saying is, as far as money and the potential for how much money you can make. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not a high ceiling right there, right? But this is the only channel that is there, and you're not opening up any more channels for this $1 million to travel and get to you, right? So all the magic has to work with, if it's because of your unwillingness not to do shit. So all the magic has to work with is trying to channel you all of this money through this one source, right? Which ain't gonna happen typically, right? So then what'll happen is now the magic has to find other avenues for this energy to channel through. Um, and just like electricity, you know what I'm saying? Energy, I mean, it chooses the path of least resistance, right? And what I'm saying is, shit, it might come to you. It probably won't come to you at all. But what I'm saying is, but the energy might manifest in a fucked up way, in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? Because it has to, if the built up energy, you know what I'm saying, is going to demand, it has to have a release. You know what I'm saying? If you done did all this conjuring and shit and then built up all of this energy, now it demands a release. You know what I'm saying? No different from whenever you building up, having sex and ready to bust that nut. You know what I'm saying? And it just builds up and it's demanding a fucking release. Like, right? And if you're not doing anything productive to give it any positive outlets to manifest, it's going to take whatever they can get. So, damn. I hate when I lost my fucking point. What was I just talking about? The magic needing channels. So, okay, so I was going back to opportunity. So when I'm talking about the number one thing the magic does is present you with opportunity. The opportunity comes with the potential for you to give the magic another option, another outlet, another tunnel, right? Like the ocean, like it's many different streams of water that leads to having that big ass body of water we call the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it ain't all those streams or those dams or, you know what I'm saying? Like, if shit is cut up and clogged up and cut off and, you know what I'm saying? Like, then the water can't, got to find another path to go and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the water gonna keep moving. That's what I noticed more than anything. Um, During this time of working the financial transformation magic, that system is that my opportunities in areas that have a high ceiling, right? That has a high ceiling for potential, right? Opportunities that's constantly more and more being presented in areas of my life that can grow tremendously, right? The thing, like, you ain't gotta think for the magic, bro. You really don't. Like, all you gotta do, like, the best thing, and it's everybody say it, like, the best thing that you can actually do, like, is not try to think for the magic. Like, do the fucking magic and try not to think about the fucking magic. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've said it before. So like the opportunities, like in my entrepreneur adventures, the opportunities, like, since working this magic has like increased probably like by a couple 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just like because I DJ, and DJing is one of those things where it's very hard to become a full-time DJ, meaning DJing to where that's your it's taking care of you and your family to where you can provide with it. It's one of those industries, like, that's just a job position that's hard. You know what I'm saying? Because typically DJ, I don't want to get into all that, but you know what I'm saying. Like, and but me doing that since I started this magic, like, it's helped take a lot of stress away from trying to figure this shit out and trying to, because like I said, like, the magic is going to lead you to, it's going to present opportunities. It's going to put you in the area, you know what I'm saying, for you to take advantage of something maybe that you normally wouldn't, you know what I'm saying. And I just know that, like, I mean, it's constantly like, sometimes, like, now, like, man, like, I pretty much, I stay booked. And that ain't even no, like, trying to flex. Like, I for real stay booked. Like, not as much right now that I get booked as probably as much as I want to be. I don't get paid as much as I want paid. I'll say that. but I'm booked regularly. And um that you would think that like I get booked now as if like that I'm doing more work as far as like advertising and things of that nature that would attract customers and shit to you, which I do some, but like I don't do as nearly. I know I don't do as much as I should and as much as I could, but I've been still receiving like the opportunities as though you know what I'm saying. So I'm just saying like I can tell when the magic's working. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but like I said, you got to be ready to work whatever it is. Damn, my bad. Whatever it is you into and shit like but you got to be ready to. You got to be ready to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? So like whenever these opportunities be presenting themselves, I don't get to cash in on all of them. All of them don't seem the best all the time. You know what I'm saying? Um, but you got to be ready and willing to take advantage of the opportunity. Oh my God, let me do this. You got to be ready and willing to take advantage of the opportunities because you don't know. I mean, some shit really don't be about nothing. Um, but you don't know, you know what I'm saying, like where that road is going to lead you to or what could happen or who you going to meet. You know what I'm saying? You don't know, you know what I'm saying, or who you might meet. You never know where you might end up at. You just don't know, and that's the thing. Like when opportunities just start popping up in your life, like there's ways. The magic works subtle, but there's ways that you recognize when the magic working at time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and most of the time you don't, right? But there's still those moments that you be like, oh yeah, you acknowledge that the magic is doing the shit, and then I mean you just shift your attention to something else. You ain't got to just sit there and think about that shit day in and day out. But you gonna think about it. I think about it. I just try not to stay stuck on it for long periods of time and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of try to show my gratitude. Like, yeah, okay, thanks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel it. I can tell. And try to move on to something other than that. But, yeah. Um, I think that's the biggest thing. That's really the main thing. I think really when I was just talking about the opportunities, like because if you want money, everybody want money, and you work in this magic in this book, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody want money, everybody want a life change, you know what I'm saying? But like shit has to happen in order for it to happen. You know what I'm saying? Um so yeah. Yeah. All the man it's not all the it's not always pleasant either. You know what I'm saying? Because the same like opportunities that you can take advantage of, shit like that. On the other end, like when I was experiencing a lot of mishaps and inconveniences, it would be in areas that I had the opportunity to be growing in, but I wasn't, right? Maybe areas that I'm stagnant, but I could be doing something in this area, like developing myself, you know what I'm saying? Like raising my game up in this area, but I haven't been challenged a lot, right? It ain't been a lot of challenges in that area of life. So there's been like no need to work on growth and development. So the magic, it also, like I said, presents you with opportunities. So sometimes you might fall on a hardship, but in that hardship is still the opportunity to grow, opportunity to change, or whatever it is that's making you suffer. You know what I'm saying? Like the magic might show you now, like boom. So now take advantage of the opportunity now to get your shit together in this area. You know what I'm saying? That's still an opportunity at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Because if you get your shit together in this area, raise your game up a little bit, then you ain't going to no longer be dealing with this problem that you're dealing with right now in this area. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't always going to unfold the way you want it to unfold. But like in this magic, because you got to say it like this, you talk about like a year long ritual, a year and some change. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll be skipping days. Long ritual, like you're going to get to, I mean, shit, you're going to experience all the emotions of doing magic every day and going on about your life. I feel like your life is going to be your life, whatever it is. I feel like the magic is just going to really, whatever you, probably whatever you, I don't know. I don't know. Mm. I don't know. I think I'm going to wrap it up, though. I've said pretty much. Like I said, I ain't had nothing to wow you about the magic and shit. It's pretty much just do it a day at a time. You know what I'm saying? Work your magic today and get on with your life. Get up tomorrow, work your magic, get on with your life. Work your magic, get on with your life. It'll come a time to where you'll be forgetting about the magic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to remind you, like, damn, I didn't do the damn ritual today. But that might probably is a good place to get to. You know what I'm saying? Not saying a good place to get to, not to be doing the work, but I'm saying a good place to get to where, like, because if you forgetting about doing the magic, that means you ain't concentrated on is the magic working and is it what, you know what I'm saying? So it's a good thing in that. Like, Damon Brand was genius in the way that he put putting the system that them systems together like that with the long term working. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like with 24 different rituals in a book. By by the time you get to the third or fourth ritual, you know already forgot about the first ritual and what that was even about. By the time you get to ritual 10, you can't even remember what ritual 3 was about and what, you know what I'm saying? You can't even, you have to go back and read it. You know what I'm saying? Like you, but that's where you want to get. I can tell like that's the point is you want to get to where you can work the magic and then it's put out of your mind. Like that's what you want. Like you don't want to keep observing. You know what I'm saying? Um, because they say the more you looking at it, you know what I'm saying? Like the more you pestering it, you know what I'm saying? Like the more you observing it, it can't work. Like you're siphoning energy that's needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. So that goes all into the quantum, right? The particles and waves and shit, but that's definitely not a story for now. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that.